Kev G weather overview. Now, there's a lot going on with this winter storm. This is a winter storm that's going to affect millions of people from Chicago all the way to Bangor, Maine. And of course, the New York City metro area is in line to get a wintry mix. Snow will start tomorrow night and then it'll change over to a mix and even rain along the coast. But I think the biggest aspect of the storm when all is said and done is twofold. Number one, the accumulation of significant ice, and this is what the NOAA graphic is trying to display here. And number two, the amount of bitter cold and strong winds that filter in behind the storm. I think that by Sunday night, overnight, the entire tri-state area is going to be encased in an air mass where the temperatures are in the single digits area wide. And that's in the wake of the storm. And by Monday, we're really not doing a heck of a lot better. I think that low teens is the best we're going to do for your Martin Luther King Monday. Now, when we take a look at the ice situation, a tenth to a fourth of an inch of ice is likely for northeast New Jersey, lower Hudson Valley, interior southern Connecticut. That's a dangerous situation. Anytime you get a tenth of an inch of ice in any scenario, that is extremely dangerous, especially considering that this ice is going to build up on the power lines. And the winds are going to pick up, unfortunately, and we're going to have power outages in some spots. There's going to be some hardship for certain communities for Sunday, Monday, and even a good part of Tuesday, because it's going to be so cold in the wake of this storm that if you don't have power, you're really going to have substantial hardship. Now, a few hundredths of an inch of ice to a fourth of an inch of ice is likely around northeast New Jersey, lower portions of New York City, northwest Long Island, southern lower Hudson Valley, and southwest Connecticut. A trace to a few hundredths of an inch of ice for the southern and eastern Long Island sections, as well as southern Long Island and southeast Connecticut. And that's where rain is going to dominate much of the night, I think, after midnight. So the impacts would be numerous downed trees, scattered power outages. This is for the area that's in the tenth to a fourth of an inch of ice. So when we take a look at the map, where is a tenth of an inch of ice located? Well, it's over White Plains. It's over New City, Carmel, up into the hills of northwest Connecticut, interior northeast New Jersey. These are the areas that really need to pay attention to this storm. When we look at the overall storm track, we take a look at the latest model, courtesy of Tropical Tidbits. What we notice is that the storm moves in, and by mid-afternoon, late afternoon, clouds will lower and thicken, and then snow will develop from west to east, so that by the time we get to about 7, 8 o'clock in the afternoon, snow is already falling across northeast New Jersey, New York City, western portions of the lower Hudson Valley, much of Pennsylvania. And that snow gets steady for a while, but you notice on the south shore of Long Island and over New Jersey, it quickly goes over to sleet and rain. And the snow will be heavy just north of these locations for several hours through about midnight or 1 a.m. But even there, you notice that north of New York City now, as we go through the night, with the heaviest precipitation falling after midnight, it's mixing everywhere. Now, up in the Hudson Valley, that's where the more impressive snow totals are going to transpire, and we'll take a look at that in a minute. Now, as we get through the night, we're overnight now, as far as the model is concerned, and the sleet is making it all the way up into the Hudson Valley, and there's plenty of heavy rain along the coast. Now, as we move further through the morning on Sunday, what begins to happen is that the storm starts to pull away. Now, in some circumstances, when the storm does pull away, we can get the backside of the storm to deliver frozen precipitation, especially across the coastal plain. I'm not buying that at this point. I think that based on what the models are showing and based on the last couple of days, this storm just gets on out of here. Now, up into the Hudson Valley, it's still frozen. Sleet, a combination of snow and sleet in the areas in purple and blue are ongoing, and we're out to about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. So you can see the northwest hills of Connecticut, eastern New York, upstate, up the Hudson Valley. Still snowing, still mixed precipitation, and this could be a dangerous ice storm for interior New York. I'm very concerned that anybody who gets over a tenth of an inch of ice, based on that graphic and based on this model, is going to have significant power outages, and the storm pulls away. So for New York City, Long Island, This is a few hours of snow and then it mixes over and then the storm pulls away and then the cold air starts to filter in. So here is my idea on what we can expect as far as the overall snowfall is concerned. So based on the information that we've been looking at over the last couple of days here on these videos, I think 3 to 5 inches is a good bet for much of the tri-state area before it change to sleet and then eventually rain, which will hold accumulations down. Just north of I-95, I have 5 to 10 inches before sleet and freezing rain start to hold down accumulations there. And then north of that, up into the I-84 for Orange, Dutchess, Putnam, I think it's 10 inches or more, just simply due to the fact that, I think that there's more snow up there. I think there's less in the way of mixed precipitation. It's more in the way of snow. So a dangerous winter storm, I think just north of the city, at the map that we looked at, really needs, if you live in those areas, you really need to be prepared for a disruption in power. And you need to be prepared for the idea that temperatures are going to crash after the storm. We're going to have significant, potentially life-threatening wind chills for Sunday night into Monday for all areas, and the hardest hit areas with the amount of ice that's coming for the northwest suburbs. This could be a really bad situation. So stay tuned. Monitor your local forecast and stay safe out there.